The lack of sleep is the number one cause of seizures.
Hmm.
Number one. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you'd think it would be other things like drugs or this thing. That's the number one cause of seizures is lack of
Believe
sleep.
that.
Let's have a conversation about cognitive decline. Let's have a conversation about physical decline. We're educating masses about the brain and the spine. We're educating people about balance, gait, and decline. Let's have a neuro wellness conversation. Let's have a neuro wellness conversation. Let's have a neuro wellness conversation.
Welcome to Neuro Wellness Conversations, where clinical insight meets lived experience. We're two physical therapists having real conversations about neurologic wellness, nervous system health, and what it takes to support both in everyday life. Today's conversation is an important one. We're talking about epilepsy beyond the seizure itself, the day to day experience, the unpredictability, and what it's like to live in a body that can stay on alert even when nothing is visibly happening. So, some stats that I pulled up is that around 50 million people worldwide actually live with epilepsy. That's a lot of people,
That is a
50
lot of
million
people.
people,
Absolutely.
making it like one of the most common neurological diseases globally.
All right.
So this isn't boring, Lisa. This is a real topic that needs to be talked about.
I agree. The thing is that I don't know anybody that has it.
Really?
I've never met one person that has it except for my uncle who has epilepsy, but he's the only person in my family that has it.
Wow.
Yeah,
Very interesting.
I belong to this epilepsy Facebook group, and I don't know if I want to say I feel fortunate, but a lot of people that have epilepsy have very extreme cases. And so, I mean, not that I wish to have epilepsy, but I'm
Right.
grateful for what I do have.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I want to introduce you as well. So we're joined by Lisa Gundrum, and who lives with epilepsy and is here to share with us tonight what life looks like between seizure events.
Right.
Lisa isn't here to like teach or diagnose, but she's here to like speak from lived experience
Absolutely.
to help us better understand the quiet, the often invisible ways that epilepsy shapes daily life and quality of life. So,
Right.
thank you so much for being here and willing to take your time to share your story with us today.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
So we'll get into the questions.
Okay,
Absolutely.
great. I'm ready. I've never
So
done this, so
it's just like having a conversation.
That's all it
okay,
is.
All
that's
good.
good.
So when people hear the word epilepsy, they often think about only about seizures. What does your day-to-day life actually look like outside of seizure events?
Well, I have not had a seizure in 11 years.
Oh,
So
Good.
things have changed drastically from when I had seizures or from even 2 years ago being seizure free. It's evolving, especially for women with hormonal changes and everything like that.
right.
As far as things go, I'm a fitness instructor, so each day I always get up, take my medication first thing, even before I get dressed,
Mhm,
Right.
and I get ready for work. I make sure to eat every single morning
mhm.
right after I take my medication because if I go to work as a physical fitness instructor, working out without taking my medication is just, it doesn't ever happen. I'll call my supervisor who they all know I have epilepsy, and I
Hmm.
tell them, you know what, I can't make it. And they understand.
Right.
Each person, I've worked for many different people and they all understand this isn't, it just doesn't happen. And they understand the situation where I'm not going to get in a car and drive.
Correct.
Um, then I, um, drive. So that's definitely, I don't want to get in a car, drive when I, not feeling well.
Correct.
Everything I do in a day-to-day life, it incorporates not having seizures.
Right.
So it sounds like you have a routine
Right.
Mm-hmm.
that is pretty
Exactly.
consistent. The brain loves consistency. I always talk about that.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
But it's amazing that you haven't had a seizure in 11 years. So kudos to you for sure.
Yeah.
So, Lisa, do you feel like your routine helps you to stay with a managed diagnoses? Do you feel like that's part of why you had that length of time of no seizures?
Well, it's, I guess I can put it in a few words. Routine, basically preparing my workouts,
Right.
putting together my set list, arriving early to everything. People think I'm neurotic because I'm so early all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Eating correctly, carrying extra food on me, medication, so I don't have any twitching, any jerks. All these extra things that I do
Mm-hmm.
they relax me to make sure I'm overly prepared and ready. I have it so I do not come across any twitches, jerking. It just calms me to be able to go in to a class or anything like that and just be
Mm-hmm.
relaxed. I don't want to be stressed. I don't want to be an instructor that comes in the very last minute and going, because
Yeah.
it just affects me in a different way.
Right.
It's it it makes it really bad, and it involves difficulty with me remembering naming objects and things like that, retrieving words
Mhm.
quickly, medication side effects. It could be words or numbers or memories that get affected by it. I
Mm-hmm.
learned a lot about this when I did the hopscotch study.
Okay.
Do you
Cool.
know that one?
I've
Not
heard of
give
it.
us some details.
Yeah, I did this study I applied for it, and I did the study with Emory University.
Okay.
And it was really interesting. The more I did the study, which is once a week, met with this woman online, the more I did it, the more I realized I was actually the normal epilepsy person, that I
Right.
was not some like crazy person that I did all these things and I'm like, wow, I'm the one that I have major problems. No, it was something that a person with epilepsy has all the time, like word searching. Word searching is so common.
Right.
And
Mhm.
that's why I make sure I talk a little slower,
Mhm.
prepare myself,
Right.
think about things. And I still have issues with memories. It's like, oh,
Right.
I forgot about that. I did that, or
Mm-hmm.
numbers, or
Mm-hmm.
numbers.
Mm-hmm.
um, all these different things. And they talked about it and we went over these things, and I kept a journal about it, and the more I wrote about things, the better it got. It's like now
Okay.
I remember my neighbors' dogs' names more
Good. Good.
often.
Good. And so, for our listeners that don't know the Atlanta area as well as Lisa and I do, because we're in Georgia, Dr. Banks happens to be in Massachusetts. Emory is uh, there's Emory University, and then there's Emory Hospital, and the Emory Hospital is affiliated with a lot of other sections of Emory. And they're very well known for a lot of their research, especially neurological research.
Mhm.
So when she was speaking about Emory, that's what she's making reference to. Very, very heavy on research in the neuro world. And the hopscotch study that she's talking about was affiliated with Emory. Was it Emory University or Emory Hospital?
Emory Hospital, that's where my neurologist is located.
Okay. Okay. Very interesting. And how
Very.
long ago was the study done?
Well, I did it 2 years ago, but I try to practice what they do all the time. I'm not saying I'm perfect because I'm
Correct.
definitely not, but I
Right.
try to think about things that I've learned through it, and
Mm-hmm.
realize when I do the things that we talked about, you
Right.
know what? It actually helps when I try to forgive myself about things
There you
that
go.
come up
There you
with
go.
because it's my epilepsy and not me being like, having
Right, right.
some
Yeah,
breakdown or thing. It's just
right,
part of being epileptic. I
right,
say, okay, it's just the epilepsy. You
right.
know what? You
And listen,
remembered what you wore on your wedding day. You got
right.
it. you know?
And the thing about that too is having grace with yourself, because none of us are perfect. Even with those of us without epilepsy, we're not perfect. So it's a matter of just having grace and allowing yourself to forgive yourself if you feel like you faltered in some way, shape, or form. So don't feel like you have to be perfect.
Exactly. It's
Mm,
consistency over perfection.
There you
yeah.
go. That's the key.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. And you're doing a beautiful job of calming your nervous system, being
There you go.
organized and planning ahead and going to places early. That really
Absolutely.
calms your nervous system and allows you to be more efficient. So
Every
great
Exactly.
job.
time.
Yeah.
Every time I've had a review with any of my supervisors going back years, they
Mhm.
always have come. You know what? You are always so early.
Right.
Always early. You're never late.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thus,
That's a great thing. That's a
that I.
plus.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a plus. My dad, that's one of the traits I love about my daughter, amidst other things. She is one of those people. She doesn't have epilepsy, but she prides herself in being on time and
Mhm.
being early and not necessarily getting there exact. I'm one of those exact people. Say 8:30, I like to be 8:30 on the dot. But I've learned that I need to be more like her. So, but
Just
yes,
feel
that's one of the things that I love about you, Lisa. And for those that don't know, and our listeners, Lisa and I have a connection because Lisa helps me run the Parkinson's boxing program that we have here in the Tyrone, Georgia, Peachtree City area. So she is very much telling the truth when she talks about being early, being very reliable, being very structured. And that's one of the things that I adore about her. So very, 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 very true.
that's so awesome. All right. Let's get into our next question.
Okay, great.
So, what are some of the less visible challenges you navigate? The things people don't always see or think about?
Okay, that could be a lot, but the ones that come off generally are that of how I'm feeling. It's second nature for me. However, um, I get stressed, and that causes seizures.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to keep low stress life
Mm-hmm.
because that causes jerks or any kind of jerks or losing my train of thought.
Mhm.
Right.
I try to really focus in
Mm-hmm.
on speaking slowly
Right.
because that affects things too. People don't
Mm-hmm.
realize it that
Mhm.
if I'm losing my train of thought,
Mm-hmm.
I have time. I see it in my mind that I'm losing my train of thought. But if I'm speaking slowly, a lot of times people may not realize it, but then
Right.
I will catch what I was saying
Mm-hmm.
and adapt it to it, or I'll I'll change it into maybe something that's directed towards what we were discussing. So
Okay.
they're not kind of wondering, what the heck is she talking about?
Right.
So
Right.
Right.
that just making sure that I have everything organized and any kind of side effects that come up. I
Mm-hmm.
try to be aware of things that could come up that people might feel a little strange about.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to make sure, I don't want to say hide them because everyone I know knows me,
Right.
knows I have epilepsy. I don't hide it or
Mm-hmm.
anything
Mm-hmm.
at all. I don't even think about it, to tell you
Right.
the truth.
Yeah.
And I just, I just try to be aware of what's going on and how I'm feeling on the days. And however, if I get stress is a big thing. So I
Right.
always want to make sure I have as least amount of stress
Mm-hmm.
as I can and try to keep happy and relaxed, which help side effects that are not there. and
Okay.
it makes a big difference. So if you're doing something you don't like, I've learned
Okay.
over time,
Mm-hmm.
don't do it.
Right. Right.
Or find a better way of dealing with it,
Okay.
because that's not, people don't realize it, but that's a big thing. And I mean, and I think that to not just having to do with epilepsy, but for me, especially having epilepsy, you
Mm-hmm.
know what? Yeah, my husband and I have always have this. If you're not happy or you're stressed in your life over a job, it's not worth it.
Correct.
Go,
Yeah.
That's true.
go,
Yeah.
move on to something else, because you know what? It's not worth having a seizure. It's not worth having that stress. People don't
Absolutely.
realize doing that kind of stuff. It
Yeah.
makes a big difference.
Absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
that's why we're here. That's why we have this podcast. We're trying to educate the masses
Yes.
on things that they probably thought they knew and understood, but don't really have a good understanding of it. So that's the importance of us having this conversation with you. Because I'm sure there are people that are going to be listening to this that are going to be enlightened on,
Mhm.
understanding that person that has epilepsy and a little bit better. So that kind of leads into the segue of our third question. So, on days when nothing's visibly happening, how does living with epilepsy affect how on guard or alert your body feels?
Okay. Of course, being prepared, I wrote all these down and
Yeah,
did
That's
my
okay.
own research. I'm like,
that's okay.
where's the one that says on guard? You know, okay, there it is. Um, I'm generally aware of how I'm feeling.
Okay,
You know, it's basically second nature for me at this time.
right.
And just because you don't even think about it,
Mm-hmm.
it's just like you're always there, you're always aware things could happen.
Mm-hmm.
People, you never ever not thinking about it.
Okay.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
never or you just don't ever think about it. Try to
Okay.
keep a low stress life. Not always easy, but I do the best I can.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I try to keep joy in my life.
All right.
I
And
notice
just
when I'm happy and
things.
doing things I'm happy,
Uh-huh.
I'm relaxed.
Right.
Nice.
Relaxed, and that stress may no longer be there.
Yeah.
So things I do, I may hide things that people don't notice.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes with dumbbells, if I'm feeling weird, I may adjust things
Okay.
because I
Okay.
don't want people to get panicked if they see me with a tremor or
Mm-hmm.
anything like that. So
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
that I think that I try to keep people relaxed when I do stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I go back to the fact that most people even know I have epilepsy,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not overly concerned, but I'm always aware.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always aware. I'm not really on guard. I guess I don't really have an on guard point, but I'm
Yeah.
just aware of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel comfortable with having epilepsy because
Mm-hmm.
I've had it for so long,
Mhm.
Right.
and I know what needs to be done and what's important. It's most important thing is not having a seizure.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
That's the most important thing, and you do whatever you have to do to not
Right.
have one.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you're normalizing vigilance,
Yeah. Absolutely.
which is not a bad thing.
That's at all.
I try to. Sometimes it's a little boring,
That's
but
okay.
I said it goes back to, well, I don't want to have a seizure.
There you
That's
go.
why I'm neurotic about taking my medication, eating this thing and that thing. All my people I know want to go on these crazy fad diets.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you take these bazillion different vitamins, then
Mm-hmm.
it'll make it great. Well,
Mm-hmm.
everything that I do impacts my epilepsy. So I'm not
Right.
going to take vitamins,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of vitamins or different things, because I don't know how it's going to mix with my seizure medication.
Right. Yeah. So how does, and this is not one of the questions that
That's
we
okay.
into, but how does your nutrition fall in line as far as, because I'm a big nutrition person. I'm a PT that looks at, we talked about this in a couple of our other podcasts. I look at things holistically. Like I
Mm-hmm.
look at the whole person. How do you feel nutrition plays a role, and what kind of nutritional routine do you have?
Well, you know what? That's a good question because I think nutrition actually helps and impacts everything.
Yeah.
You know, whether I'm really good at it,
Mm-hmm.
which I'm not, or I'm not. I mean, there's things that I have incorporated this year that I never did before. I take vitamin C. I mean,
Okay.
that's huge for
Yeah.
me. You
Yeah.
know, I have a
Mhm.
busy life. I do a lot of. I'm all over the place. I'm
Right.
busy,
Yeah.
so I'm constantly, everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But having food on me all the time, and I try to keep things protein
Okay.
is huge for
Mhm.
me. Okay? I
Okay.
see I was getting nervous, so I put one of my chomps, which is
Okay.
not a promo for something else, but beef
Right. Yes.
jerky.
We do not endorse chomps.
No, it's beef jerky on me. It's, yeah. And some kind of food all the times. I think that having some kind of regimen is good, not always
Right.
possible,
Right.
but I try to eat something green every day. You
Okay.
know, I
Awesome.
love my husband, but he brings me Haagen-Dazs quite a bit. And that is not good for my waistline,
All
and it's
right.
definitely not good for my seizures.
Gotcha.
But and I just told him just a day ago, and
Yeah.
please, you know, don't buy that anymore. Don't bring it
Right.
in the house. And chocolate, I try to stay away from chocolate as best I can.
Okay.
I life is life. I'm not going to be perfect
Right.
Yeah.
because then you're not enjoying things. I did
Yeah.
this one thing nutritionally, which is
Mhm.
it was in the I talked with this about my neurologist, so I'd
Mhm.
heard about this thing. I even forget the name actually what we called it, but you eat an all fat diet.
Oh, ketogenic.
Yeah, yeah, but
Yeah.
it had a different name to it. It was something in neurology. They had a whole different items that I did. I could only do one day. It was
Okay.
that intense, and it was
Yeah.
all proteins, all fats.
Yep.
I mean, and you know what? I woke up the next day. I didn't have one tremor,
Oh, wow.
Oh,
not one tremor,
That's
nothing.
amazing.
nice.
It's
Right.
funny you said that because I just read something today, that with Parkinson's, there are quite a few people that follow. They call it they call it a meat lovers. They don't really give it a technical term, but it's more
Mhm.
of a high protein diet. And that was one of the responses that several of the people that are following that diet said that they noticed the reduction in their tremors was
Mhm.
so significant, and they actually tried to go back to a regular diet with a little bit more carbs. The tremor came back,
Mhm.
so they reverted back to the high protein diet, and they several people said that they've been on it for quite a while.
Mm-hmm.
I tried. I tried that, and I could only do one day because it was that intense. Then I
Okay.
talked to my neurologist about it. I said,
Mm-hmm.
"This is crazy. I could only." He said, "That's why we give it to children.
Ah.
We do that when they're kids because
Okay.
their parents are giving them what they are eating.
Mm-hmm.
Adults, they choose what they want to eat.
Right.
The food is all around them.
Mm-hmm.
We're all normal,
Yeah. Yeah.
we're all normal. So
Yes.
having that strict of a diet when you're an adult is very hard, but when you're a child,
It's
it's very
easier.
easy because you're given what you need to eat. So you don't really have a choice. It's like, oh, okay, there's a full fat yogurt,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
boom, they eat it. You
Well, the
have
other
no
thing too
berries.
is, from my understanding, and you might say the same thing, Dr. Banks. Um, the adults have to be specific in like the amount that they're eating,
Yes.
also what they're eating, because I think the difference is kids are, they're like you saying, they're given specific things, but adults try to play with a little bit of this and a little bit of that and a whole lot of this and not enough of that, and so they're not really allowing themselves. My understanding too is it's also a matter of allowing the body to get into ketosis per the research.
Mhm.
And
Correct.
ketosis is, first of all, hard to get into.
Mhm.
And then the other part of it is it's hard to maintain.
Oh
Um,
yes.
and so to maintain it requires a certain amount of protein. And I guess for kids, they're smaller. So the amount that they require is going to be a whole lot less than what an adult at a certain size
Mhm.
Mhm.
who's looking for a certain response is going to require.
Right.
Right.
Absolutely. So yeah, nutrition is definitely important. I do try to get things that are green, but you know,
Yeah,
I
green
I
is
eat for
overrated. No, I'm just
It is.
green is good. I think green is good. I
I'm
try
just
to do
kidding.
it.
My doctor
My
told me the other day when I went for my checkup, she was like, "Try a green smoothie in the morning," and I was like, I said, I'm from the Caribbean, I'm from the Bahamas. We eat something hot in the morning, so I like a hot, even if it's just a hot tea before I
yeah.
eat anything cold. So I was like, I could probably do my tea first and then my smoothie after, but by then I'm gonna be too full on the tea to
Uh-huh.
want the greens.
Right.
I do decaf, won't have caffeine ever again because it
Oh,
triggers seizures. And I
Yeah,
have 2 eggs every morning.
every morning. Yep.
Hmm.
Good for you. Good for you.
That's the only way that makes it work for me.
Good for you. Good for
nice.
you.
Nice. So I know we kind of touched upon like how you notice how stress and your daily routine influence how safe and settled your body feels. But I'm
Hmm.
I'm, I'm actually interested in how you sleep. That's kind of
Right.
my big thing. Sleep.
I am
Oh,
too, kind of, doc.
okay. Oh, well, I could go into having the right mattress is really important.
Right.
But as far as seizures go,
Mm-hmm.
the lack of sleep is the number one cause of seizures.
Mhm.
Number one. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you'd think it would be other things like drugs or this thing. That's the number one cause of seizures is lack of
Believe
sleep.
that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm always aware of lack of sleep.
Yeah.
And my husband is actually really understanding
Mm-hmm.
because he gets that it's important and he doesn't want to have seizures because I had a really hard time in my life years ago when we were together where you know he understands that everything is about not having seizures.
Right.
So if he knows that I need more sleep, he's going to make
Mm-hmm.
sure I have it, whether he has to sleep on the couch or in the guest room or
Mhm.
whatever. He knows how important sleep is and
For you.
keeping, yeah, oh, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's absolutely vital. And if
Right.
I have to take a nap during the middle of the day, then so be it. Then I
Absolutely.
do,
Right.
because it's about keeping some kind of regimen in my life
Mm-hmm.
because it keeps me from not having a seizure.
Mhm.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. And you seem to have, gotten it, gotten so routinic that it works for you because it's been 11 years,
Yes.
and
Yeah,
you
there was
want to
a
make it 12. So,
absolutely. There's this time in my life, this was years ago. I was
mm-hmm.
10 years seizure free or whatever, really long time. And then all of a sudden, boom,
Mm-hmm.
I had seizures and they couldn't control it.
Oh,
They
wow.
could not control it. I tried this medication, and doctors really want to slowly wean you off this one and then wean you
Right.
off. I mean, and you lose like 4 months trying to work
Mhm.
around medications.
Right.
But eventually I got with a new doctor and we worked things out. But
Okay.
going through all those problems and having to be patient and deal with trying to manage that, you learn a lot about it. You learn a
Mm-hmm.
lot about epilepsy and the things that are going to work for you because it's different for everybody.
So, do
And
you typically require like the routine of going to bed roughly about the same time, having so many hours of roughly the same amount of sleep, or what have you found as far as your pattern that's worked for you?
well, when I was younger, I was an early bird.
Okay.
I was up early teaching boot camp at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Now you say
And
younger.
yeah,
Like
well,
how much younger?
I mean, okay, let's see. Let me see. When I was in my 30s, I'm
Okay.
57 now. And
Okay.
I was,
Okay.
no, I was my 40. When I was 40, that's when I was, getting into it. I'm realizing that that's a priority. And I was having all these problems. So I want to make sure that that's a priority. So I got an idea of how I do. But I was getting up early then. So then I went to bed early.
Right.
So now, as I switched gears, I'm 57 now, and I'm not up at 6 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock. So I'm staying up a lot later,
Okay.
and I don't try to stay up later. It's just my body naturally does that.
Right.
So I
Yeah.
don't try to go to bed. I go to bed when I feel like I'm tired. Otherwise, I'll just be in bed and I'll be awake. The
Right.
idea is to go and lay down in bed and be exhausted. And if
Right.
I need extra sleep, then I take it.
Okay.
And that's how I balance it out. I usually get 8 hours
Okay.
on the dot, no matter what. My body has an alarm clock.
Can you say, and forgive me, Doc, for throwing in all these extra questions, but
Go for
I'm
it.
thinking about all, the audience that's, 50 plus hitting menopause.
Yeah.
There are some that are at that age and dealing with issues with sleep, but also dealing with epilepsy. And I'm sure, they're interested in somebody else's perspective. So with you, Lisa, did you find menopausal changes affected your epilepsy any?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it still does because
Okay.
I know. I mean, that, and speaking of menopause, you get your hot flashes or whatnot, and
Yep.
then they want to put you on a medication,
Yes.
another pill. Let's control them to make sure you're not hot.
All right.
Okay, so I don't do that. I
Okay.
go, no meds,
You're right.
no meds. So yes, I'm uncomfortable all the time. I'm hot, whatever it is. I just deal with it because I don't want to add another medication
Yeah.
to the 10 pills I take a day.
Right.
So menopause and everything, it really affects you. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm constantly, having to deal with that. And
Did it affect your
no,
sleep in that
yes,
regard too? Okay.
yes. I would say that's about exactly the same time as it changed everything the way I did things.
Got it.
And
Yeah.
instead of trying to fight it and push myself, no, I'm supposed to be do that. It's like, no, it's my body telling me I need to change.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Good for you. Good recognition of that too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then learning how to adapt because I mean, dealing with menopause is one thing and I know because I'm dealing with it myself, but dealing with it with also having to factor in something else as critical as epilepsy has to really be, I guess, something you've got to think about and plan for. So that's when you think about it on the multi-level factor of things that you're dealing with, I'm pretty sure a lot of people don't understand how significant it is to have that routine, understand your body. Don't be so quick to try to throw in something else like another pill or whatever. And, just develop something that works for you. And that sounds like that's what you've done. So hats off.
Yes. Excellent
Thanks.
job.
Yeah. And it's always evolving because things change.
Yeah.
You have a good day or you
Yeah.
have a bad day.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing is a definite.
Yeah.
Everything changes day to day.
Yeah.
I mean, so you can't always say, I'm going to be this day, or I'm going to be this day. I'm going to lift this much weight every single time I go in there.
Right.
That's the way I do it. No,
Yeah.
because maybe yesterday you had more sleep or
Yeah.
you had more energy or things happened really good. So you could lift that same weight. But, when you're coming 2 days later, you go in and you
Mhm.
don't lift that weight and
Right.
it doesn't feel right. But you just kind of got to go with the flow because that's where you are at that moment,
Mm-hmm.
not having to compare yourself to any other time. You're
Right.
saying, this is me now.
Yeah. 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 That's great. And that kind of leads into our final question that we're going to ask for tonight. So, Besides, we talked about the management of your seizures, and we kind of touched a little bit on your husband giving you the support. But what else would you say has kept you grounded or in control, giving you that quality of life that you're content with?
I would say my mom
Okay.
and my husband are my number one rocks. I'm not like giving my husband a like, yay, you know, I'm mentioning you, you're this great person, but they're basically the people that have known me the longest.
Right.
That have known me the longest and seen me through everything, have seen me have seizures, help me know what it looks like, know what signs they do,
Hmm.
know if I'm jerking or if I feel shaky. They just know everything.
Right.
So they're a great sense of support. And even my daughter, she knows,
Right.
you know, or don't push yourself. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Right.
They can do that. They know all about epilepsy for the most part and what it needs to be to make sure I'm comfortable. And
Yeah.
that takes away from stress. And getting stress, they know, is a big one for me.
Absolutely.
Keeping a low stress life for me is huge.
Yeah.
As far as quality of life, the number one thing is be honest and communicate to people.
Right.
I didn't learn this until later on in life, but it's
Hmm.
so important because when I communicate to people and I let them know what's going on, it takes away all the stress away from me, makes me
Absolutely.
feel relaxed and helps me not have seizures,
There you
which
go.
is important.
Yeah.
I feel if I'm just honest that and communicate with people
Hmm.
that they're going to know where I'm coming from and I don't have to stress about something because I've already said it. I've
Right.
communicated something that's either comfortable or uncomfortable. So
Right.
it's like that's the history. I can now breathe and
Hmm.
move on. And it's usually not even that big of a deal, but
Yeah.
I'll stress on it because my epilepsy heightens up. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to stress about that. But no,
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
and it's everything is about
Yeah.
staying seizure free because if I have one, it affects my life so tremendously that it takes you basically about you're having to restart your life again. You have to start
Right.
all over from the beginning.
Yeah.
So that is basically what keeps me at a good quality of life.
Good for you.
That is awesome.
Awesome indeed.
This has been an amazing conversation.
Oh,
Absolutely.
thanks.
And I think I just want to reflect like what stands out from this conversation is that epilepsy isn't just about seizures, it's about living in a body that is constantly negotiating safety.
Right.
That makes sense?
Yep. I agree.
Quality, yeah, and quality of life is lives in those in between moments,
Right.
not just the medical milestones.
Yep.
So that's what I took away from tonight. And sleep is
Absolutely.
a big
Yeah.
deal.
Yeah. When simple thing is keeping joy in your life. I know
Hmm.
it seems so crazy, but having joy in your life and doing what you like to do, not just for work, but in a daily routine,
Right.
having that joy and happiness,
Hmm.
it makes for me, I have no twitching, no side effects. It's just all of a sudden it's just like everything just kind of goes away. You just have this normal life and it's not even like it's an issue.
Right.
You're just happy.
And that's good because I do know stress plays a major factor.
Hmm.
I had a family member that had epilepsy, and I do know stressful moments would always lead to a seizure.
Mhm.
So, that's very true, what you're saying as far as joy, keeping stress levels down.
Mhm.
And like you said, Doc, just having those moments in between that
Yes.
kind of, and if it's boring to somebody else, so what?
So what?
It's normalizing things for you and giving you joy and the peace that you need in your life. So,
That's
you know,
it.
that's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And Lisa, we want to thank you for trusting us with your story
Yes,
and
thank
Mhm.
for helping bring awareness. Awareness is big to what living with epilepsy really, really looks like from day to day. We really
Yes,
appreciate you.
yes, thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for listening to Neuro Wellness Conversations, where clinical insight meets lived experience. If today's conversation resonated with you, share this episode with someone who could benefit. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss future conversations on neurologic wellness and nervous system health. Until next time, keep supporting the nervous system that supports you.
Let's have a conversation about cognitive decline. Let's have a conversation about physical decline. We're educated.